Hey everyone, welcome to Urban Rush. It is Thursday, October the 6th, 2011. We have a great show coming up for you today. I'm Fiona Forbes.
And I'm Michael Eckford. And of course, a little note of sadness today, I think, around the world for one of the great innovators in human history, Steve Jobs, passing away. We are going to be talking about that later on in the show as well, because we want to sort of have our own time to talk about Steve Jobs. Because if you haven't noticed, he may have had a slight influence on how Fiona and I consume our media.
I finally got you to switch over to Mac about 2 years ago now?
No, it was about 3 years ago, and it was a complete revelation for me because it was where...
you realized I was right.
Intelligent inside met beautiful outside.
I know.
Much like how I feel myself.
I know, but you know the thing, it was so sad when I got home last night around 5 o'clock was when I started reading it on Twitter that he had passed away. I did not realize, I mean, of course it was on my iPhone, on my iPad, on my MacBook. I didn't realize how young he was.
Yeah, 56 years old.
56 is so young.
Yeah, I think everybody had the same reaction. You hear news like that sometimes, and it's just a, you know, it's just a shame. But
well, let's have a look outside. It's a little meh out there right now, but guess what? It's game day, people.
Yeah, it's supposed to get nicer and nicer throughout the day as well. So today in Vancouver, of course, the Whitecaps are playing Real Salt Lake, but the big news, I mean, come on.
The big news, the Canucks
Canadians
are hitting the ice. How exciting is that going to be after the longest season in 17 years to see our boys out there once again?
And once the real season starts, this is the point where everybody starts to pontificate and everybody throws their guesses into who's going to win.
But first, can I just profess my love to the Sedin twins and to every other one of the Vancouver Canucks, because I love them for being them. I love them all, but
one of
I
our
love
favorite
the
recursions. This is the Sedins actually doing this, and they do everything at the same time because they're twins.
But you were
and
saying there's some stats out there about a certain cup.
Yes, Bodog, one of the big betting sites, the Vancouver Canucks and Washington Capitals each tie at the top for favorites to win the Stanley Cup, according to Bodog this year. They're both 7-to-1 odds to win the Cup. The Washington Capitals, yeah.
That's surprising to me.
Ovechkin,
I know, but
Semin.
Still, you just never hear the Capitals.
They're a great team.
I know they're a great team.
Yeah.
But
every year they say the Capitals, and then the Capitals go, and they just kind of
see what? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So, but still, on paper, they're a great team. Whereas the Canucks on ice, they're a great team.
No, they're awesome.
Boston 10-to-1. Of course, Boston was involved in the Stanley Cup at some point last year.
I can't remember. Did they win?
And then this one I like to throw in there just because it's fun to have someone to throw rocks at. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 50-to-1 odds to win the Stanley Cup.
I'm sorry. Really sucks to be a Leaf fan, doesn't it?
It certainly does.
It's time to start trash talking, people. But first, we must remind you that Ryan Kessler posed naked for ESPN magazine.
When did this happen?
And yes, I just said ESPN magazine.
Not ESPN magazine?
No, I didn't say ESPN. Okay. Anyway, he, of course, is taking a lot of ribbing from the rest of the fellas. And what I didn't know when I was reading about it today is that Luongo apparently was also asked to pose in the buff, but he said this body is for one set of eyes only. Of course, talking about his wife. Yours, yes, Eckford,
his
yours.
Wives.
And it was really funny because last night, and it seems like Kessler has a great sense of humor. Of course, he knew he was going to get teased by the rest of the guys. Apparently, one of the Sedins just got super awkward when asked about it by the press, surprisingly. I don't want to talk about that.
Which Sedin? I heard Daniel say that he thought he might do it someday.
Then it was probably Hank.
Yeah, it must have
been. I get them confused sometimes.
Yeah. He had red hair.
And Kessler is on Twitter, as is Bieksa. And it was funny reading Twitter last night because Kessler threw it out there. Hey, Bieksa, nothing needs to be said about this, but there's something to put on your fridge, buds. And then put up his own photo, which I thought was pretty funny.
That is pretty funny.
I know. Anyway,
I don't know about those moles.
It's funny.
I don't know about that.
I have no problem with that.
No, and it's just going to be fun tonight. It's always exciting in the city when the Canucks get back to work. And something... I was talking about this, I was on Bro Jake this morning on the Bro Jake Show, Classic Rock 101, and this video came through. It was on the Vancouver Sun website, and we had a big debate about whether we were going to show it this morning.
No, there was no debate. What I actually said to you was, ew, gross, I don't want to see that.
So that automatically to me says it must be so compelling you have to see it. This is a grocery store in Kitsilano, and we'll talk about it more after you see it, but basically, there are rats in that there store, so here you go.
Still not watching. So this was filmed by some guy walking by this grocery store at night.
Yeah, and they were getting into the food and they were doing all this other stuff.
No, you know, I have to tell you what I heard over the summertime, because we had such a wet and cold spring that all over the lower mainland, I heard it was just mice, but I guess rats too. Mice usually stay outside in the spring when they're having babies and such. But because it was so cold,
how do they do that?
They fornicate because it was so.
What does a fork have to do with it?
Go ask your mommy. Why do you have 3 children? Think about it. Wait, I don't want to imagine that. Anyway.
That causes babies?
Yes, it causes them.
I am never washing my hands again.
What? Anywho,
yes.
Because it was so cold this spring, all the rats and mice apparently came inside. So there's been an infestation problem all over the lower mainland.
I feel bad for this particular store, and I'm going to say who it is, and only because I don't want everyone to think that it's other stores in Kitsilano. It's called Kit's Natural Foods. And
that's natural.
So they went in, and they investigated. It was 4 rats that had gotten into the store, and unfortunately the guy wasn't prepared for it, and he's taking care of the problem, but boy, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Like, as you look around.
As I said when we were talking about this morning, it makes you wonder what we don't know.
Yeah,
that
that's
was
what
by
I mean.
accident, somebody walking by in the middle of the night happened to film it. I don't want, there's certain things in life you're better off not knowing.
It's a peek behind the curtain. It's like you don't want to go into the kitchen of the restaurant all the time.
No.
You just don't necessarily want to, you don't always want to see what's
Now, Michael, as he mentioned, has been filling in all week on Rock 101. And what's really funny, because of course it's super early in the morning, you've been getting up at coincidentally, look at his face, you've been getting up at coincidentally 4:20 every morning. And he gets a little snoozy, and what he doesn't know, speaking of filming people when they're not looking, I happened to record a video of Mike having a wee nap at work. Let's have a look at his face. You totally thought I caught you because you take dirt naps on our couch.
I do sometimes, yeah, when I'm really tired.
Anyway, go Google lordosis, and that's what you're looking at.
That's pretty funny.
Isn't that cute, though?
Yeah, that is really cute. I like that. I actually was scared for a second that you had taken a video of me
napping.
Later
on, we should take another look at the look on his face. He's like, wait, what? Where was I sleeping?
Sometimes on the guest couch where we interview people, if I'm really tired, I
don't go snooze.
A little 15-minute
And speaking
nap.
of Rock 101, it is time to check in with Elise. Here she is.
Hey guys, well, Guy Garage madness continues, and this week, along with the usual 5 times a day, you can get a Guy Garage door opener. You can also pick one up on Friday. Here's what you need to know. The 2011 Dodge Challenger is going to be on location. I'll give you one hint. It's going to be somewhere in Port Coquitlam. If you can find it, you have a chance at a Guy Garage door opener of your very own, which leads you to the very big party November 10th at the Boulevard Casino.
Very nice, Elise. Thank you very much. So, you know, also phone in tomorrow as well between 6 and 10 for your chance to win a garage door opener on air. And you can have a chance to chat with Michael Eckford.
Who's that guy? He doesn't wash his hands.
Well, I have 3 times. I know that.
Anyway, we have a great show coming up for you today.